Okay, we're back and we're getting closer to the end here. You can see that we just really need to put our grid elements in place and add some type to the sides of the grid. Throw in our source and credit down here, and then deal with 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of type and one additional image up here. And then we'll be pretty close to being done. So next, we're going to figure out how to get these guys into position over here. And hopefully it's not acting too squirrely. So we'll see what happens. I'm just going to go 2 objects at a time. And so if I select those, I should be able to just sort of shift, drag them into position here. And if you remember, when you create something new like this grid, it's going to be the forwardmost object, meaning that these are behind it. So we're going to right click, go to Arrange, and Bring to Front. Okay, so while we're at it, we might as well do that with the rest of these objects. Right click, Arrange, and Bring to Front. Okay, so we can continue to move these over. Okay, and it looks like our gap is a little too narrow on this side and a little too wide on that side. So I'm going to see if our gap tool will pick that up again. And it looks like we might be getting some interference there from some of the other objects. So I guess we'll just leave it as is for now. If we go into preview mode, we'll get a better indication of how those things look. If we use the Align tool to make sure all of these things are lined up in the center, we can just select everything there and then come back and reselect one master object as the key object, and then align horizontal centers. And that should bring everything to the center. And then we'll do the same over here. Select the key object and align to centers. Okay, so not perfect, but good enough for government work at this point. The next challenge is to get our typography in these positions. Now, it can be really challenging to do this, believe it or not. If we just go to our type tool and pull the cursor, you can see that the cursor switches to a circle or has a circle indicator around it. And what that means is that it wants to just use this bar as a text frame, and that just makes it a little more difficult for us to perfectly align the text where we need it. So I usually find that if I create a text frame nearby and do my typing and then move it into position later, that usually works better for me. So I'm going to go ahead and write in Trump in here, and I'm going to select all. And because we have styles already for that, I'm going to go up here to my character styles. And if I pull down and I pull way down here, I have graphic column headline 1. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the same for the paragraph style. Graphic column header 1, and then, I know I can't really see it, I'm going to pull that into position, and it's exactly where I need it to be. All right, so maybe I'll nudge it up one spot with my cursor key. Is that working? Let's see. I'm going to zoom in, select it, and there we go. Now I'm just going to Option Shift drag that over to the other side and get that lined up in the middle and change that to Obama. All right. Now if that's working for us, we can do an Option Shift drag over here to the side, or Option drag, but you'll see obviously that it's in the wrong orientation. So I'm just going to go ahead and rotate it holding the Shift key down, and that will constrain it to 45 or 90 degrees. And I'm going to bring this in so it's a little bit tighter, and then just sort of nudge that roughly into position, because we have a different style for that. So if we go to our character styles, we can go down to graphic row headline. Same thing with paragraph styles. Graphic row headline, and there we are. All right, so now I'm not going to bother to change what that actually says. I'll leave that to you to do on your own test. But I'm going to Option Shift drag, and sometimes it doesn't take. Command Z, Option first. There we go. Look for that icon, that double cursor. Option Shift drag. We'll do it again. Option Shift drag. Option Shift drag. And Option Shift drag. Okay, that makes it easier to get your type in positions like that without having to deal with type inside of an object. All right, so we're getting pretty close here, and we've got a few more things we've got to deal with, but I'm actually going to leave that for another tutorial. So stay tuned. We're getting near the end.